Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video will be seen and shared. Celine Driver, once again, bringing you my third and final video in my non-Zelos State of the Collection for 2021. In my first non-Zelos State of the Collection video, I did all my quartz watches that were sporty, I guess you could say, or otherwise were just, quartz or watches of that genre. My second video was based on manufacturer name, letters A through M. This one is going to be the rest, N through Z. Also, 15 watches like the previous video. I did not plan that out. It just sort of nicely happened that way. This grouping has some pretty heavy hitters in it. I hope you will enjoy the video. If you see a watch that you want to learn more about, every single one of these watches has their own video on my channel. So if you go to my channel, you can search specifically in my channel for a particular watch. So let's just get into it, shall we? Yes, we shall. Anyway, starting from letter O, I don't have any watches made N, O through T. So we're going to go this way, like that. So, first watch I have up here is from a very unusual Swiss manufacturer named Und Jr. Ox spelled O-C-H-S, Ox, Und, and Jr. I guess his son. Very unusual looking watch, full titanium. I paired this with a blue collareb leather strap because the original strap didn't fit me, as this was a watch that belonged to my father. The thing about Und Jr. is when you go to their website and look at how to order one of these watches, every little thing you see is customizable. You can specify strapped material. You can specify the buckle material. You can specify case material. You can specify indice color, the color of the sun, the color of the hands. Each hand can be individually colored if you want. The color of the moon phase track, the color of the moon, the color of the sun here on the track, the color of the date indices here. You can see the dates drop, from 31 drops to 1, then goes all the way around. Every single element of this watch is customizable. And you can have a grand old time going through their website and checking things out. You even have a blank case back here, suitable for engraving if you so desire. Very, very unusual watch and very accurate on the moon phase. According to their website, if you set the moon phase correctly, you never have to set the moon phase again for 3,000 years. I don't think I'm going to be around to prove that, but so far that moon phase is held to be very accurate. I have my only Omega so far. One of my Grail watches is an Omega Speedmaster Moon to Mars. That's on my Grail list, and I will own one, just not today. But this is a Seamaster. This one is with the flat dial instead of the wave dial. Helium release valve at the 10 o'clock. Very subtle date window at the 3 o'clock. Beautiful hands, beautiful loom. Wonderful bezel action. It's very Rolex-like in the bezel action. A little bit chunkier feel and sound to it, but lines up perfectly. Beautifully made, beautifully polished, beautifully faceted. Leather strap, One thing I like about the Omega is the tail of the strap goes underneath the deploy clasp, signed deploy clasp on both sides. You have Omega and their symbol. And solid close, double pusher lock. And the tail goes underneath for a very clean look on the wrist. Beautifully made watch. I believe this is one of the Planet Ocean ones. Beautifully done. Next to it is my Patek. This was admittedly not a purchase. This was a birthday gift from my father recently. This is a Patek 6000G. This was their last of breed. The year this was made was the last year that this particular case was made. It's a beautiful dress watch with the date track along the outside, and you have the indicator right there. Small seconds at the roughly 4 o'clock. It's very accurate. It's beautifully done with a micro rotor, all kinds of engine turning and Geneva striping, and all kinds of beautiful watch. The Patek, the Patek strap didn't suit me, so I paired it with another collareb. The case is white, highly polished white gold. It's a beautiful watch. I was really blown away when my father gave this to me. The date is set with this pusher here. And I was just blown away when he gave me this watch. It's a beautiful dress watch. Every time I wear it, I think of my pop, who's still alive when I make this video, by the way. So it's not like I'm inheriting watches. We actually share watches a lot. But some watches he just outright gives to me. And I'm very thankful. Another watch that my father had for a while, is this Perlay, or Perlay. It's like Chevrolet, but Perlay. The turbine. It's like an adult fidget spinner. If you remember fidget spinners from a couple of years ago. The watch face acts as a turbine. It doesn't wind the watch or anything. That's done with that rotor on the back here, or with the recessed crown. Very clean look with that recessed crown, but it's just a nice, amusing thing to look at. But he had thrown this watch, actually he had thrown both these watches into the same drawer and forgot about them. And I found them, and he said, yeah, you can play with them for a while. And when he says you can play with them for a while, that pretty much means, you keep them. If I want them back, I'll come find them. One thing about this watch is the rubber strap. It's one of those kind where you cut it to size it. It has a butterfly deploy clasp, which not my favorite thing, but beautiful engine turning on that clasp. I actually had to buy a new strap for this watch when he gave it to me, because the original strap was obviously sized for his wrist, and his wrist is smaller than mine. And to find somebody who will sell you one of these things is really difficult. And as you can see, they're molded into the case. So it's not like it uses a conventional spring bar setup where you can, use a conventional strap or bracelet. You have to go back through Perlay. But minor inconvenience, first world problems, all that. And it's a beautiful watch. I do wear the watch occasionally. It's a lot of fun. This watch is very, very special to me. This is one of my Rolex watches. Now, this watch was the first watch that my father gave to me. And it's not going anywhere. This watch I will never sell. Stainless steel. It is a GMT Master, not a GMT Master II. This is one of the originals in the original case, not the super case that they have now. This was originally a Pepsi bezel, meaning it's red on one side, blue on the other. I switched it to a Coke bezel because I kind of like that look better. And it's a bidirectional bezel, as you can see. It's stiff enough where when you drop it somewhere, it holds and it's not going to get casually knocked around. But he gave me this watch. It wasn't working, and I had it repaired. It had a bad crystal. The mechanism needed to be serviced, a bit gummed up, and they changed out the bezel for me professionally, so as to not mark up the case. It is all original. It is the original bracelet, I should say. It has not been refinished ever, and you can see that relief crown is still there. The facets on the watch are all still in great shape, and it's a beautiful watch. And it is the first watch my father ever gave to me. He replaced it with a GMT Master II in Pepsi. I forgot which material he picked. Doesn't matter. Watch is very special to me because he wore it for a lot of years and it was in great shape, and he turned it over to me for safekeeping, and I'm very grateful. This is also a GMT Master, but this is GMT Master II. You can see the case is a little different from the GMT Master, a little bit more square. And this one is what they call the butterscotch, unofficially. And this one uses the Surdy dial. What the Surdy dial is it uses diamonds as the indices, and it uses, in this case, rubies for the 12, 9, and 6 indices. This watch is a steel and yellow gold strap and a steel case, and the dial is champagne colored, Mercedes hands, Cyclops, beautifully done. Again, bidirectional GMT bezel insert. I like the watch. I do. I don't wear it very often. It's not really a favorite of mine. I'm not the biggest fan of the colorway that's here. And if I was having to sell a Rolex, this would probably be the one I'd let go first. But it's still a really nice watch. It wears beautifully. It's very accurate, and I do enjoy wearing it occasionally. It's just not my favorite. This is another of my Rolexes. This is a Deep Sea, the Sea Dweller Deep Sea, or as it's known as the Cameron, the James Cameron. This is probably the thickest watch I own, or maybe it's the second thickest. I think my Zelos Abyss is just a little thicker than this. This is the big time dive watch, helium escape valve. The case is very special and how they assemble this thing. A lot of markings on the case back. You usually don't see that on Rolexes. It's rated to 3,900 meter water resistance. So drop this sucker down in the Marianas Trench and see if it doesn't still keep working. Buttery smooth bezel action. Rolex has the best bezel action on the market, and it ain't even close. And fight me if you don't believe me. Beautifully done, easily deployed or screwed back in, screwed on crown, nice crown guards. No Cyclops on the crystal. I like that. I love the fume style dial. Everything about this watch I just love to death. And again, it was my father's watch, and he let me have it because it's basically too big for him. Wasn't too big for him when he bought it, but it's too big for him now. And then I have my most prized Rolex, the Submariner. This is my only Submariner so far, in yellow gold, All yellow gold, 18 karat yellow gold all around. I'm actually afraid to wear this watch because the clasp, as you can see, the clasp is a little bit rippled. This metal is very, very soft. It bends easily, too easily for my taste. But beautiful watch. I just make sure I only wear it when I know I'm not going to be doing anything near strenuous. Surdy dial, again. In this case, the 12, 6, 9 indices are my favorite gemstone, blue sapphire. You have the somewhat stiff from lack of use bezel with a blue insert, which is beautifully done. I have to do it again because my OCD. But yellow gold all the way around. And as submariners go, I don't think you can get much better than this, but I sure as hell wouldn't want to take it diving. I mean, you might ruin it, and it might attract every barracuda for 1,000 miles. Very blingy. And now I come to the watch that I love, and it makes me crazy at the same time. But when I talk about in my videos, you may have heard me talk about in my videos from time to time about watch repair and movements and how it's really great that these micro brands use standard movements so servicing is easy. And I tell you about the watch that had to go back and forth to Finland 3 times to be properly repaired because they're the only people that can work on it. This is that watch. This is the Sarpaniva that I reference in those videos. It's white gold case. It's a beautiful moon phase watch with a custom rotor that's just wild, out of this world wild. And that face is supposed to be the likeness of Stepan Sarpaniva, who owns the company. You have a moon phase, and full moon is indicated by this face or this face getting into that circle. It's a two-hander. There's no running second hand, unfortunately. That's the only problem with this watch. White gold, beautiful blue sunburst dial. Those are diamond inserted into the dial to represent stars. It's a beautiful watch paired with a very nice gray alligator strap, white gold buckle. It's just a fantastic watch. But if this watch goes wrong, the pool to fix this watch is deep, and it only goes to one place, and that's Finland. It's not going anywhere else because nobody else wants to touch it. Even the authorized dealer in Florida doesn't want to see this watch ever again. They said they're very happy they had me as a customer, but don't bring this watch back to them. And I can't blame them. I have one of my vintage watches. This is my controversial Seiko Pogue, or to satisfy those people that beat me up every time they see this watch on video, Pogue-like. There, you happy? They're always beating me up over, oh, that chapter ring isn't a Pogue chapter. You know what? I don't care anymore. Say whatever you want. This is a beautiful 70s vintage watch. Now, Pogue is the nickname for the watch because there was a colonel named Pogue in NASA who took one of these watches up. This is a chronograph watch, supposedly the first chronograph automatic watch to go into space. And the chronograph hand is there, and you can see it works. And there's the chronograph minute hand right there. I'll let this run for a minute. You have a day and date complication here. You do not have a running seconds, however, but you do have the chronograph, and it's a Pepsi bezel. It's a tachometer scale. It's a fixed scale. Beautiful gold sunburst dial. It's a lovely, lovely watch. Very simple steel, stamped steel clasp. Very 70s. Sign clasp. It's the one that came with the watch. Screw down case back. Very nicely made. Now this watch is actually sold. Well, it's not sold. It's still mine. No money has changed hands. But my friend Jason DeCastro, he of the, you can see there's the minute hand, the chronograph minute hand. He of the Design Atelier channel, go look him up and sub him up. You can see it's a flyback and it resets pretty much to 0. He wants the watch. He's already said, I'll pay you the price you want. And I said, whenever you have the money ready, it's yours. So, Jason, if you're watching this, you need to give this thing the new home. But whenever it's his time to do it, he will pay me for the watch, and I will ship it to Aruba. I will be sad to see it go, but I will be happy that it's going to a good home. I have my only Squally. I used to have a bunch of Squallies, but I'm down to this one, and that's it. This is my Squally 1521 Lion Shark. Now, why do we call it the Lion Shark? Well, look up there. This was designed in conjunction with Squally and Tristano TGV, the host and owner of the Urban Gentry channel. And that's his family crest, the lion. Hence the name Lion Shark. And it's a beautiful watch. There's only 100 of these out there. And yes, I know it's damaged down here at the 6 o'clock. I'm the second owner. That's how it came to me. And I bought it despite it being damaged. Great bezel action. It's got the bezel insert is unique, and they don't make any more of them, which is why I haven't replaced the damaged one with a new one. The dial is unique. It's kind of a gray sunburst. It's a beautiful watch. It does lose time over time. It does have to be adjusted every once in a while, but most automatics do. And this is the only 1521 I have left. I did have one of the blue ones, the Azure. I sold it, but I'm not selling this one. If I do sell it, it's not going to be cheap. But I do have the full kit. I do have the watch, and I really enjoy wearing that watch once in a while. Now for one of my Tudors. I have 4 Tudors. This is one of them. This is a black and gold chronograph. I'm not exactly sure what the model number is. I did a video on it. You can look up that one and check the video out. But I love me some chronograph. And this one is gorgeous. Steel and yellow gold. Big, heavy, hefty watch. The twin dials. Kind of got that gold and black panda thing going. With the gold tachometer scale on the bezel. It is, of course, a fixed bezel. Gold pushers and crown. Just a great, hefty, beautifully made Tudor chrono. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I have a vintage chrono here from Tudor. This is a Tudor Prince. And this is a 3-dial as opposed to that one with the 2-dial. You have running seconds here, whereas on here you had the running seconds. Well, they're actually both at the 9 o'clock, aren't they? But this one only has minutes scale. The Prince has minutes and hours on here, so that's an extra. Stainless steel all around. This one dates from the 90s. Stamped steel clasp, so not as nicely made as some of the more modern ones, but a little bit smaller on the wrist at, I believe, 39 or 40 millimeter. Nice watch. Nice pickup for me. My hands are getting stiff. I have my Tudor Heritage Chrono, my Gator Chrono, as I call it, with a GMT, bidirectional GMT style bezel. This one evokes the chronographs of the 70s. You have the running seconds here, chronograph seconds here, chronograph minutes here. I call this my Gator Chrono because it has the orange and blue colorway, mostly blue, obviously, but the highlights are orange. The chronograph second hand is orange. I paired it with another collar ebb leather strap. I do have a bracelet for this. I did get this watch from Crown and Caliber in Atlanta. They failed to tell me that when they sold me this watch, it was sized for somebody with the wrist of a 4-year-old, and the metal bracelet was no good. I actually had to go hunting for extra links because, of course, they didn't sell the links. And I went on eBay and picked up all the things I needed to complete the kit. So I knew it wasn't a full kit. I think it was missing a couple of manuals. And I picked up about half a dozen links so that it would fit me. And I did wear it on a bracelet for a while, but I've since moved it to a leather strap, which is very comfortable. I'll probably move it back to a bracelet at some point. But when you're buying from Crown and Caliber, my only advice to you is ask questions, because they're not providing answers unless you ask the questions. Shout out to Crown and Caliber. Thank you so much for an interesting purchasing experience. And finally, my favorite Tudor. The first generation, because they've since come out with another generation of Pelagos. First generation Pelagos in full titanium. Beautifully made watch. I mean, this watch, if you had to have a one watch collection, and why would you? But if you had to, this would be a candidate. I mean, the classic Submariner, like my friend Random Rob has, is certainly one of those watches. This is another. I mean, this watch, it's a beautiful dive watch. Fantastic bezel action. Nice and smooth. Lines up, locks in beautifully. Good size crown. Beautifully finished titanium. It fits well, it wears well, it's comfortable, it's thin enough it could be a dressy watch, maybe not a dress watch, but dress-y. Works well in a business setting, works well in a sporty setting, it's very accurate. If you had to do a one-watch collection, this would be the watch that you should definitely consider. It's beautifully made. Love and screw-down crown. It catches its threads very easily. Smooth engagement, disengagement. It's a beautiful watch. And that's it. That wraps up my 6 video, 3 videos of Zelos and 3 videos of non-Zelos, state of the collection for 2021. And I'm not doing this again for another year, because this is this is hard. Well, it's not hard, but I mean, gathering all the watches, sorting them out, first world problems, I know. But I hope you found this video to be very entertaining, informative, enlightening, useful. And as I said, all these watches have their own individual detailed videos. So if you saw a watch in here you want to learn more about, go find that video and give it a watch. But this video, I would ask that you give a thumbs up to. That does help the channel, and I do appreciate it. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to be nasty, you're going to be obscene, or you're going to troll me, or you're going to leave links to bad places on the internet, I will simply delete your comment and I will block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. I'm glad you found the channel. I'm glad you're here. I hope you will take the opportunity to watch many, many videos that I've made. Hundreds of videos that I've made. All I ask in return is, before you leave, click the subscribe button. Help me grow this channel. Click that subscribe button. Click the bell icon next to it so that when I upload new videos, new content, you will be alerted to that upload. Or when I do live streams, which I do every Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, or at other times during the week when I can, you will be alerted that those live streams are starting and you can come join. Meanwhile, as I always say at the end of my videos, it is a crazy old world out there. I ask that all my viewers, subscribers and non-subscribers alike, be safe, be well, stay healthy. I'll see you again soon.